Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This story is called The Tie Makes the Tyrant by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. I'm officially all grown up now. As much as I try, I can't deny this fact any longer. I have reached the age and the stature in life where I must be a grown-up. And being a grown-up with a grown-up job means I have to wear a tie to work. I need to look nice while I'm at work these days because I'm the big boss now. Therefore, I need to look bossly. Everyone knows that the guy with the tie is the boss. The tie as uniform accoutrement is used in all aspects of society, from the CEO of General Electric to the manager at McDonald's. Even though I have a grown-up job and now I sport a tie around my neck at work, I still like to play with cars. There will always be a little kid inside me who loves the sound of a big engine and thinks fart jokes are funny. Regardless of my juvenile sense of humor, I take my new wardrobe very seriously. Ties are serious business. When you wear a tie, you get to say cool things like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean, or we could solve this problem with a committee. The tie also means more money. I calculated that wearing a tie equals about $10,000 a year. That statistic is based on another statistic, which took a number of statistics and averaged some statistics together to give me a solid statistical number. That statistic is now a factoid, which I have bestowed upon you, and since I was wearing a tie when I told you, it is now concrete fact. A tie guarantees $10,000 annually. Don't question me on this, I wear a tie and I'm the boss. Besides cash, the other thing a tie guarantees is black socks. You can't wear a tie with sneakers. And if you're wearing dress shoes, you can't wear white socks. Ergo, tie equals dress shoes, which equals black socks. Transitioning to black socks created a bit of a problem for me at my house. Coincidentally, we have a bit of a laundry issue at my household. Laundry doesn't really get done very often at the Casa de Kreider. We do our laundry, it's just done quarterly. This means that since I only own a couple pairs of black socks, because I spent most of my life accumulating and wearing white socks, it is difficult, actually it's impossible, to find black socks to wear to work after 2 days of a 5-day week. Even though we're on this quarterly laundry system, my wife and kids always seem to have clean clothes because they wash their own laundry and intentionally skip over mine. Well, I never have clean clothes because I just don't do laundry. I wear a tie. I came home one day wearing my tie and a pair of quite smelly black socks that had done double duty. My feet stunk and I was frustrated. So I announced to the family that there would be a big shift at our house. New rule starting tonight. Even though I was making a very big announcement, nobody in my family really bothered to look up from their iPhone, iPad, or Mac to acknowledge my announcement. They were too busy being engulfed in the Apple corporate brain suck to hear a human being right in front of them. They ignored me while I was wearing a tie. Because of my tie, people at work listen when I talk. So I started again, a bit louder. I'm sick and tired of not being able to find black socks when I go to work every morning. So here's how it's going to work from now on. Still, nobody really cared that I was talking, as overpriced Apple products were still rotting their brains. Do any of you make $100,000 a year? The kind of money that it takes to buy all this Apple crap? Finally, they looked up at me. Until each of you brings home $100,000 a year, this is what you're going to do. When any of you do a load of laundry, put in 2 black socks. If you're going to wash your cheer uniform, throw in 2 black socks. If you're going to wash your swimming gear, put in 2 black socks. Is that too much to ask? 2 small black socks. It won't affect the size of your laundry load. I just want 2 black socks in every load. My wife, whom I love, looked at me as if I was the biggest jerk she had ever laid eyes on. She asked me, "Are you serious?" I'm as serious as a heart attack, which is what I'm going to have if I wake up tomorrow and can't find 2 black socks to wear. I'm not asking any of you to contribute to the financial stability of our family. I'm just asking for 2 black socks. Is that too much to ask for? My wife replied, "Well, you're not really asking us, you're demanding it. We aren't your employees. We are your family. You don't get to order us around. Take that stupid tie off. I think it's cutting off the oxygen to your brain." I left the room. The family thought I had become a tyrant, and maybe I had. Later, I asked my son if he would like to take the trash cans to the curb before he went to bed. He said yes. He immediately put down his iPad and went outside to take out the trash. Actually, I had never seen him move that fast after being asked to take care of the cans. Then I heard him mutter under his breath, "I don't want you to go all 2 black socks on me." Awesome. By the way, I went to work the next day wearing 1 black sock and 1 white sock. Thanks, fam.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, everybody, before we get the real show going, I have a special announcement. Do you know what it is, Mrs. Kreider?
No.
It's a surprise.
I'm so surprised.
Well, you're drinking, and that drink was paid for by somebody else.
Who?
A listener. Another
Really?
listener actually Venmo'd us at Stories and Cocktails and gave us money, and we got drunk on that money.
Do you know all my drinks are bought by someone else?
Yeah, well, that's lucky for you, because you have breasts.
Is that why you buy me my drinks?
Yeah, fucking, that's why
the
every
punchline was
man
going to
buys
be
you
you.
drinks. Yeah.
You're the someone else who buys me drinks.
But I only buy them for you
shit.
because you have breasts.
Is that why Ruben bought them for me?
Maybe. Let's find out. So, Ruben Calderon bought us around. He has the Flacozar podcast. He's also a real estate agent in Sacramento from the Aspire Real Estate Group. So, if you're going to buy a house in Sacramento, give the motherfucker some business. He was kind enough to buy us around.
Oh, a fellow podcaster.
Yes, and it's a
Nice.
funny-ass podcast, too.
Is it?
It is very funny, yes. All right, y'all, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to the real show. Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails. This is the drunken portion of the show. We are in Dallas, Texas, Roadshow, live and on tape.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
What kind of show is this?
It's Roadshow.
It's a road show. Okay.
Hey, baby, what are you drinking? A Bud Light.
Bud Light.
I'm drinking something different today. I'm keeping it local here to Dallas, Texas. This is Nieto Bandito, which I think might be Nieto Bandito if you're actually Spanish, from Deep Ellum Brewing Company. Very standard Mexican lager taste. Pretty good. Nothing crazy. Wouldn't kick it out of bed. So anyways, the story we're going to talk about today is called The Tie Makes a Tyrant, published March 27, 2013, Santa Maria Sun. A story that I would say, this is the problem with the story, is that in our household, I had a certain thing I would say over and over again. And I don't think it really got very well conveyed in the actual print version of the story. And that is this. I would run around the house to my family and just yell out, 2 black socks. I need 2 black socks. 2 fucking black socks. And I would lose my fucking mind at the whole family.
Yeah.
Because I needed 2 black socks. And I didn't even know I was saying it until you guys started using it as like a punchline around me. Like, Dad needs 2 black socks.
Okay, well,
Like, 2 black socks.
at what rank did you become the tie wearer?
It's funny. I was talking about in that story how I was the big boss. And I think I was probably lieutenant at the time. I was nobody's fucking boss.
Okay, but they were like, here you go, sir. They were like, ding. It's not visual, but I'm waving like a wand at you, like a ding. Like
They made me a fairy princess.
yeah. Or like
they knighted me?
Like they knighted you like a
Viking
sword. Yeah.
king. They put my what's called a butter bar on my collar. There. Here is your gold bar on your collar.
Congratulations, sir. You are a lieutenant. You are in charge of about 9 people that work in this basement. And you were like, great. New rules. The lieutenant doesn't wear his CHP uniform. He wears a fucking tie. And your head got so fucking big.
Yeah,
and you
that
came home and you're just like, I am in charge of 9 people. We all work in a basement together. I do the jobs of all of them because I don't trust any of them to do their own jobs. So I'm super overworked. I'm super stressed out. I need black socks. 2 fucking black socks. And we were just like, the 9 people that you're in charge of, they don't include us. Motherfucker, you ain't in charge of 12 people. You're in charge of 9. We all do our own laundry around here. We put it on that futon over there, and then we sift through it and we fight over it in the morning. Your black socks aren't in there because they never made it into the washing machine. Go fuck off.
Yeah. Nobody seemed to really care that I needed 2 black socks. I need 2 black socks. I was kind of on my own, wearing dirty socks to work, dirty underwear to work, tie. Couldn't really tie very well. I always kind of looked like a bag of trash when I wore my outfit. I was pretty overweight then. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I was running around making all kinds of rules. I actually said there's an executive stall in the bathroom that people should sit down and take a piss there because we take a shit. And then someone's like, I didn't believe that I had to go to a staff meeting to be taught how to use the fucking bathroom at work. And I was like, look, I'm all trying to work together here. Don't piss all over the seat when you take a shit. Like, this seems like a good idea. I've got great ideas. I can't believe Google and Disney hasn't hired me already. And they're like, How in the fuck did you become a lieutenant, and why are you telling me how to take a piss now?
So you guys had bathrooms down there in the basement?
Yeah. And I had rules about the bathrooms.
So I keep saying basement.
It was not followed by anybody. I think
I-
they probably went in there and pissed in the seat on purpose because they hated me.
I feel like when I say like basement, people are like, what kind of highway patrolman works in the basement? But you did say special services. This is a special group of maybe 9 officers. I don't even think it was 9 officers. I think it was like 4 officers and then 5 just other random people who worked for the department. And they just put him in the basement and they said, like, figure out how accidents happen. And then they're like, ding, this guy is in charge of you. He's going to teach you all how to piss. He's going to yell at his family about 2 black socks. But you guys, whatever you do, don't come out of this fucking basement.
Stay in the basement. It's a safe place.
Stay in the basement.
Yeah. That was a hard, fast rule of our unit. Don't go to the real CHP office. People get fired there. Just hang out in the basement with me. I got you all protected. Please don't piss on the seat.
What I love about it, I love that you dropped like the word unit. Like, this is our unit.
We were a unit.
Well, I know, because at about that time, you and I were watching like The Shield. And we're watching like Vic Mackey and his, what were they called? The Strike Force.
Strike Team.
Strike Team. The Strike Team. And they were like a unit. And they weren't in a basement. They were just like in the regular cop office, but then they had their own little like special locker room or something, like a little special.
They had their own little clubhouse.
Like clubhouse set that they built inside the cop unit. And they were a unit. And we were watching that. And oh God, it was like fucking dark and we were losing sleep. And we'd watch the show. And like halfway through it, you'd be like, oh, the way my unit would handle this.
You're like, really, Highway Patrolman?
Yeah.
Your fucking unit?
Really? You guys fucking figure out how accidents happened after they fucking happened? Like, what do? You download the video that was on someone's dash cam and you figure this shit out. This is Vic Mackey, dude. He's saving like kidnapped kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was a real hero.
Yeah, but but for a minute, you know, there in your career, you were the team leader of a unit. You got to wear a tie instead of a uniform, and you needed 2 black socks.
I did. Never got those black socks. But, you know, whatever. So that story had some untruths about it. I was the big boss. I wasn't really the big boss.
You were.
I mean, a little
Of the
bit.
basement.
But later I became bigger bosses. But
Oh, yeah.
But then I kind of backed off that whole head trip, right? I was like, yeah, whatever, you know. I think maybe other people could disagree, obviously, about my leadership style. I guess we should probably bring a few. Like, hey, was Assistant Chief Ryder a total fucking dick? Like, yes, he was. He was a total fucking dick.
Well, no, okay. So they said, they're like, hey, that guy in the basement, his head's getting a little big. Let's keep him at the same rank, but let's just repost him. Let's bring him out of the basement, and instead of letting him be in charge of 9 people, let's find 9 people that can make him his bitch. So they brought you up out of the basement, and you're like, ooh, it's sunny out here. Do I still get to wear a tie? They're like, no, motherfucker.
Put your uniform on.
You need to put your uniform on, and it needs to be ironed, and you look like shit. And
You look like a bag of trash in uniform, too.
yeah, and they gave you like a card, like, here's the card of my uniform person. Go, like, don't even come back to work until you've seen my uniform person.
They actually did do that to me.
I know. They're
like, you look like shit. Go to the seamstress.
And then instead of being the boss of 9 people, you had like 4 chiefs who were the boss of you, and then there was captains underneath that, and they were the boss of you, and you were they were just like, hey, lieutenant with 2 black socks, go get us some coffee.
2 coffees, cream.
And then you spun around in circles, and you're like, but who's in charge of the basement unit?
Yeah, the unit's probably running amok. It's going to turn into a rampart without me there.
Are they?
They're probably pissing all over the seats again.
That was funny.
So, yes, I got out of that job as soon as I could to be the captain of another unit, which scared the hell out of you, the gang unit of Fresno.
Oh, yeah.
It really was.
Now, this was
guy.
a real unit.
Yeah, I was really the boss of that unit, and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because that was some real Vic and Mackey shit,
you did come home, and you're like, hey, good news. Like, I'm not the chief's bitch anymore. Like, you know, all that brown nosing and dick sucking, like, it paid off. I got my own unit again. And I was like, oh, in the basement? And you're like, no, it's just like in this part of town that no one like really goes to. It's like this nondescript business or building. Like, we don't really advertise.
This building didn't even have the fucking sign on it that said the cops are in here.
Right.
It was a secret place.
It was like a super secret place. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? And you're just like, I can't talk about it.
Yeah, I'm solving really ugly crimes.
Yeah. So then I
know about it.
Then I went and I visited you at work, and I was like, oh, fuck, you got to get out of this unit.
You did not like me. It was a little funny when you're making fun of me being just a AAA with a gun hire patrolman. You're like, oh, yeah, really, motherfucker? You're really solving crimes? I was like, yeah, actually, I'm working on a few wire cases here. We're doing a takedown. And you're like, I want you out of this unit as fast as possible. Let's get you out of here. I don't want you really doing actual police work.
I also found out, like, which one of all of my Facebook friends had like a criminal past, or like just maybe not a criminal past, but like they had like dipped their toe into like neighborhoods and friendships.
Yeah, they had some lock cutters. They had some good times.
Gangs
and tattoos
that I had never known about, right? Because like you're in this unit, and the unit's called Magic. I'd never heard about that before, and you're like, it's the Magic unit. And I'm like, you guys do like magic tricks at
multi-agency gang enforcement
fucking
consortium
birthday parties? And you're like, no, like we fucking take down gangbangers in Fresno.
Yeah, don't pull a rabbit out of a hat. I put felons in prison.
Yeah. So then I start posting on Facebook, like,
The Hubs is running magic.
Hubs is running magic. And that's like, most of my friends are just like, oh, can we hire him for our birthday party? But there were a few friends that were just like, oh, fuck, magic. Like those are the boogeyman of Fresno. And I was like, what? Like, what fuck, how many gangs were you in when we were in high school? So it really did help me sort of like filter out like who my tough friends were and who my fucking soft friends were and who my friends who like really saw some fucking Fresno shit were. And they scared the shit out of me. And I'm just like, dude, your wife brought potato salad to our last barbecue. I had no idea about this.
They all stopped coming to those barbecues.
Nah, well, yeah.
Yes, after that.
Yeah.
There was a definite divide when I was the magic captain.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, Rob has a real job now. He's not just writing fucking speeding tickets anymore.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right. I got out of there as fast as I could.
So then my favorite one was when we got like the puppy, and he's like 7 pounds, and he's just broken, and he's probably going to die. And I post on Facebook, like, this is our puppy. We named him Magic because a magic officer found him, and blah, blah, blah. And so then I'm like, just like, telling the tales of Magic. I'm like, oh, he's 8 weeks old now. Like, oh, he's 10 weeks old. Like, he still poops. Like, here he is. Oh, he weighs like 9 pounds. And then this friend like comes out of the woodwork and out of the Facebook sphere. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, I fucking love it. Like a dog named Magic after the gang unit. He's like, gangbangers all over Fresno are just like, oh, fuck, a magic dog. He's going to bust your ass. And he's like, I just wish they could see this picture of this like 9 pound half dead dog.
Yes.
And then again, I was like, fuck, I have got to filter some of these friends on Facebook.
I got to get Rob out of that unit.
When you were down in the basement, figuring out how accidents happened, you were like, I need a TI 180 calculator. And then
TI 83.
A TI 83 calculator. And then I need like a pocket protector, and I need some pens. Like that's my uniform. I need this. I'm like, we're not supposed to spend money on your job. And you're like, babe, this is how I make money. Like,
yeah, you got to invest in my future.
Let's invest in my future. Like, get me a calculator. Get me some pens.
TI 83. Don't fuck it up.
Get me two black socks. Then you got into Magic, and you're like, I need a tack vest. I'm like, the fuck you do? Yeah, you've been carrying your calculator in your pocket for 10 years. You don't need a tack vest to carry your calculator. And you were just like, no, I need a tack vest to carry tactical tools and do tactical shit. And we're doing a takedown. I'm just like,
yeah, you didn't like that.
No, you got it.
You were with me at the uniform shop when they outfitted that tack vest. We put all the fucking toys on it. You're like, I do not want to see you wearing this around town.
Yeah, I was like, no, you got to get out of this fucking unit.
The most important thing I had in my tack vest was my cell phone. I had a little pocket for my cell phone. I'm like,
oh, good.
Okay, everybody. Yeah, we arrested 5 people. We kicked a fucking door down. We threw some grenades in some houses. We made some noises, little sounds and shit. It's all good. We'll replace that door later. All clear. Code 4.
All of this, all of the promotions, the 2 black socks, the $10,000 I wear a tie now promotion, that statistics say statistics make it a factoid, whatever the story said. Yes. You promoted, you worked your fucking ass off, and today you reaped the benefit.
I did, yes. We were in Houston, Texas today, and we had a very special moment for us. We went to a Porsche dealership, River Oaks Porsche, which was fucking awesome. You are not really into car dealerships or cars. You don't really care, but I think even you after they started pouring you champagne at the
Well,
bar.
yeah. No, I had to have the champagne to live.
This is the only Porsche dealership in the country that has a bar attached to it called the Podium.
Yes.
And it has all this like super cool car stuff and like the bar shaped like a car. And so I'm like, hey, they're going to do some stuff for the Porsche. And you're like, cool, I'm going to go drink champagne. So then you came back buzzed just enough to fall deeply in love with the 718 Cayman GTS. And all is good in the world.
But I needed to drink the champagne to like just raise or lower my effective filters, because I was just like on high alert. Like we pulled up, they ran out, and we were like a couple of weirdos. Like we showed up at the dealership with like all of our luggage. Like we flew in from California, and I said to you, I'm like, it's hard to play hardball when you show up with your luggage.
I don't even want this car. Lower the price.
We need a car to put all this fucking luggage in so that we can drive back to California, because we don't have a flight booked. It's a car dealership, so I don't think people like typically show up with luggage, and yet all of a sudden there was like a bellhop there who wanted to get our luggage out of the trunk of the Uber. Like, it's like, no, this
Well, they sent the Uber for us.
But I'm like,
They got our luggage out.
this can't be your job. Like, there can't be so many people showing up with luggage in a trunk that there's like a person who's employed to run out and get the luggage out of the trunk. So I, like, from the get-go, I was uncomfortable. Then they like kind of like herded us, like where we would go. They're like, oh, what are you here for? Well, I'm here to buy a car. Like, I've bought a lot of cars. I just wander around the lot. No, not at Porsche. At Porsche, we direct you. We ask you what you're here for. There's no wandering around.
Well, then when we said, they're like, oh, well, we're waiting for you. We know who you are.
Yeah, but then they still were like, you need to go straight towards the elevator. You need to push 2.
Second floor.
Someone else will be up there waiting for you. But with each time, like someone...
There was a receptionist at every door.
No, that's what I was going to say. Like each time, even though they sort of like wouldn't let you walk freely, they wanted to open doors for you, and they wanted to offer you water and coffee. Like every time I turned, I had like 2 water bottles, like 1 in each hand. And they're like, can I get you a water? Like every new person. I can't even shake your hand. I'm holding so many water. Would you like a water bottle? Yeah, I would. Can you just get me a 3rd one? Like, that would be awesome. Finally, I just learned where they were. I just started helping myself.
No, I did too. They're like, yeah, you know where the water shit is. There's snacks. You just go and eat. You just eat whatever you want. It was
I tried to give you a Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah, I'm not eating that fucking carb.
They got fucking Hershey's Kisses there.
I'm like, I just bought a Porsche. I can't get fat now. I got to look good in this thing.
You just go over to like the little candy train. You just help yourself to a Hershey's Kiss. Well, I mean,
I did not eat one.
You have to go through like 17 receptionists to get to that floor where the Hershey's Kisses are. But then
you're a kidney candy store. You have everything you want.
Then you're just free. So there was a lot of like, come this way. Oh, now you meet Chris. Come over through this door. And just a lot of people opening doors for us. And everyone kept telling me like, you can just leave your luggage. I'm like, dude, bitch, my fucking biggest money is in there. Like, I know this is the Porsche dealership. I know that car.
This is the safest place in Houston.
I'm like, I know that car cost $210,000 because I walked over there and I kind of gagged a little bit when I saw it. So I understand how much everything costs, but I need you to understand. I have like $500 cash in that backpack that I'm taking to Vegas. That's my Vegas slot machine money. I know as soon as I put down that backpack, some fucker is going to come and take my Las Vegas cash. So I just had my backpack with me, and they kept telling me like, ma'am, you can leave your backpack here. You're telling me you look like a fucking dork with your backpack. I'm just like, dude, can everyone just fuck off? Like, I have so much anxiety right now. Then
they introduced you to the podium.
Yeah. Then everyone said, look, this chick is melting the fuck down. And they looked at you and they're like, sir, who's going to be driving today? And you were like, me. And then they looked at me and they sort of like looked at each other because they just like heard people. They're like, oh, we're going to send her over to the podium. So then all of a sudden they were just like, ma'am, we have this wonderful bar/cafe. It's over there. I think that you would be more comfortable over there, away from here. And I was like, can I take my backpack? And they're like, please, you and your fucking backpack, just get out of here. Go over there.
They're like, this chick's not going to buy anything in this really expensive gift shop with all the Porsche logos. We're not going to upsell her on anything. Because they tried to upsell us another car, too. They're like, you want this one? It's available, too.
Another car?
Yeah.
Like, we were going to both drive them out of, like, yes. We're going to just drive 2 cars? We got up stores
like, do you want this black one instead?
Oh, instead.
Like, no,
but not in addition.
I want my gray blue metallic.
Well, that black one was fucking cool, though.
No, it wasn't.
So when you were taking your test drive, I walked over to the $210,000 one, and all I see in the window is I see this giant 16. And I find the nearest salesperson. I go, 16 fucking miles to the gallon? Are you kidding me with this fucking car? Like, it's tiny. This is This is the smallest. I could put this car in the trunk of my Hyundai and drive 42 miles to the gallon with this car in the trunk of my Hyundai, like 16 miles to the gallon. Are you fucking kidding me with this? And she was like, well, I mean, it's an average and it just depends on how each person drives. And we have to err on the side of caution. Like you might, like if you're a good driver, you might be able to get like 18 and a half, 19 miles to the gallon. I go, okay, but this car, like even though it looks like the car that my husband wants to buy, this isn't a Cayman, right? Like this is something else. Like the Cayman, it's a smarter car. It gets like 32 miles to the gallon, right? And she's like, no, this is a Cayman.
This is the car your husband bought.
Yeah, this is the car. And I'm like, I go, but it costs $210,000. So it's like a souped up Cayman, like that uses more gas. And then she started like talking like engines and acronyms to me. And
It was the GT4 RS, I'm sure.
that's probably what she said to me. She's like, well, this is the GT4 RS. And I was like, do you understand?
Your husband he worked for the state of California. He only got the GTS.
I'm like, do you understand?
He doesn't have, I don't care if he has a
This
story
shit
about how
doesn't
he wore
mean
a
anything to me.
tie. He's not buying a GT4 RS. He cannot afford a GT4 RS. He gets a GTS.
So then
Which stands for get that shit.
So then I said, okay, so my husband's car is not quite 210,000. I'm like, so is it proportional? Like his car is like less than half of this. So then does it get like more than twice the gas mileage? She's like,
oh no,
it doesn't work like that. And so then again, like, I don't know, she settled on the number 19. Like if you're a really, really, really good, cautious, like driver who, I don't know, like I guess gets out and pushes your car or something like that and doesn't actually use gas. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I kind of spin around in circles for a minute and I go, 91 octane is required.
93 octane.
I'm like, so this thing gets 16 miles to a gallon of the most
petroleum
expensive gas. And she's like, well, that's what we recommend. And then I'm just, and this is when I'm like, we're in Houston, you know what I mean? So then I just like, kind of like leaned over and started choking her and like just shaking her. And I was like, bitch, I'm from California. Do you know how much 91 octane is in California? And that's when they were like, ma'am, we would like to show you to the podium bar where.
And they were trying to get you a shuttle there, and it's like 100 feet away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'll just walk over. Like, would you like us to drive you there? I'm like, no, I'm just gonna.
It's
I can
right
see it
there.
I'm just gonna walk to the podium.
It's right there. Yeah. So then they got the champagne, and then I chilled the fuck out, and I drank the champagne, just one glass, and then it came back, and then you were like, I'll go over there too. Let me check it out. I'll get a cup of coffee, and then a second glass of champagne, and then all was good in the hood, dude.
Yeah, no, we got you liquored up, and you were happy.
Yeah. Turns out 2 glasses of champagne is all you need, and I'll
should have bought the other Porsche.
I'll buy you a fucking Porsche.
Yeah, worked out great.
Porsche that gets 11 miles to the gallon.
So here's information you don't know. So the Porsche gets such poor gas mileage. They finally realized, like, we probably didn't put in a big enough gas tank in this. So you could upgrade it to get a bigger gas tank. But I said, no, sir. I don't want a bigger gas tank because that's going to be heavier. Fuck that. So I want the smallest gas tank in my car because my car is race spec. So today we went to a gas station just to go pee. And you're like, you going to get gas? I'm like, yeah, I'll probably just get some gas. Like,
you did.
Every time you're at the fucking gas station, put gas in this motherfucker.
I said, because you started to drive. I thought you were doing some strokey Smurf shit. Because I thought we were stopping to pee. You're like, hey, do you have to pee? And I was like, yeah, like, I could pee. And then we're like, oh, it's a Whataburger. Like, let's try Whataburger. So I thought we were going to park. Because when we left Houston, I said, did they at least fill up the tank? And you were like, yeah. So then I looked and Maps said we had to go 200 miles. And we hadn't even gone 200 miles yet because we still had an hour left. So we'd gone, I don't know what, like 140 miles. And I was like, okay, let's pee. And then you pulled up to the gas pumps. So I was like, what do you say? Hey, Strokey Smurf, what are you doing? Like, I know you got a full tank of gas, like just 140 miles ago. Like, we don't need gas. And then you're like, oh. And then I felt bad because I was like, oh, don't fuck with him because he's Strokey Smurf. I'm like, oh, do you want to top it off here? Because it's, and I looked, I'm like, oh, it's only, $3 a gallon for the
Texas gas.
For the low octane. It's $3.99 for the high octane. Like, it's still cheaper than California. Do you just want to top it off? And you said, Yes, I'll top it off. And you're telling me you were out there filling the fucking tank.
Yeah, I was just like, look, when you have a car that gets bad gas mileage because it's a sports car, it's got a very small tank because you didn't want the big tank, you just get gas a lot.
So how big is the tank?
I think it's like 13.2 gallons.
So 13.2 times.
No, I think that's the big one. Might be 11.2.
So
I don't know.
11 times 16.
Yeah, you get about 200 miles, something like that. I don't know. It goes farther than that. I'm just talking shit. It's fine.
You don't. 11 times 16 is 160 plus 16 more, 176 miles.
No, then I'm way wrong. I have the capacity wrong. I think you have the mileage wrong. The GT4 RS gets the 16. I have the GTS. I get better gas mileage in that car.
What do you get?
I don't know. I didn't buy this car for fucking gas mileage. I bought this car so it could knock my fucking spine in the back of the seat and my brains in the back of my skull as I punched the right fucking wheel. So when you were over there at the podium getting your first bottle of champagne, I was out with Lem just punishing the fucking Porsche down the freeway 45 of Houston, Texas, to make sure it was fast enough for my purchase. And I was like, I will buy this car, sir. Let's do it.
So I am going to get to the bottom of this whole gas thing. Like, here's the thing. We're in Dallas and we have to go all the way to California. So that's like a lot of miles
A lot of data to be
for
collected.
me to collect data.
Yeah. And
so
I can hit the trip meter for you. You can keep track of how much gas you're burning.
See, I didn't.
It'd be a whole math problem.
You left the dealership and I said, did they fill the tank for you? And you said yes. And then I didn't pay any fucking attention. But now I'm going to pay attention. Tomorrow I'm going to say, what's our tank? Like, what's it at? What's our mileage? And then when we stop for gas, I'm going to say, how many gallons did you get? I'm going to fucking figure this out. This is actually fun.
Exciting. Yes.
This is super exciting.
But you don't buy this kind of car because you're worried about gas mileage. You buy this car because it is fucking sexy and awesome and fast. Earlier today, you heard some women's raps that weren't women's raps you didn't like, but we're not getting into that at all. We're going to skip over that altogether.
We weren't going to talk about
We're
that.
going to keep it totally, positive today.
Okay, we did say that we weren't going to talk about it, and then you couldn't help yourself. You brought it up, so I'm just going to get it out.
Okay.
So we went to a gas
Never be
station.
spoken of again.
We went to a gas station. You opened the car door.
Yes.
Our ears started bleeding because the noise, like the music was so loud. And I was like, what is happening? So I got out and I started looking around. Like, who's playing?
First you started talking to me. So I'm outside. The noise is deafening. I'm trying to put gas in the car. And you're just like, and I'm like, I look at you, I'm like shaking my head. I'm like, baby, I am so sorry. I have no idea what you're saying, but this gas station has a bathroom and you're here to go pee. So go pee and I'll put gas in the car. Really no conversation.
So it was so loud that I couldn't even
conversate
with my own husband who was standing like a foot from me. So I get out and I start like looking. I'm eyeballing every car. Like,
where is this coming from?
Who is playing this music this loud? And every other word is the N word. And it is just loud rap. And it's like N-word, N-word. I'm like, who is doing this? So then I finally see like this, I don't know, 17-year-old like white boy. He weighs 98 pounds. He's 5'6", and he got this music. And I'm like, son, you're gonna get your ass kicked, and it's gonna be by me probably. You're like, you can't be up in here like with music this loud. I don't even care what the content is. It's so loud, and now on top of it, it's just N-word, N-word, N-word. So I'm like, don't get engaged. Don't get engaged. Rob is watching you. He's judging you. Don't get engaged. So I start walking. But
just go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're here for the bathroom and gas. We're not here to engage. Just
so
go to the bathroom.
I just walk, but I keep looking back. Like I'm giving like that mean teacher stare. Like I'm just like, I'm going to fucking stare this motherfucker down until he turns the music down. So I'm doing like a slow walk with like a look back. But now the music is just violent, like rape music, like just I tore her pants off, but not like sexy, like she wanted me so badly. Like it was bad. And then, he's like, and then I went to court and then she cried. Like it was.
I heard him say, I beat a felony case or something like that.
Yeah. And of course, like we're not just like ripping the pants off of like a woman. We're ripping the pants off of a bitch. She's a fucking bitch. She's worth nothing. She's a hoe. He's abusing her. He's just specifically abusing her pussy because he just says that over and over and over again. And this is just in my skull, like so loud. And I am just walking and like looking back and looking back. And then I don't know what came over me. I was like,
I don't know what came over you either, Mrs. Kreider.
I was just like this. Oh, hell no. Not in my town. and this isn't my town. I don't even know what
We're
town
in Texas.
I'm in.
It's not even your state.
Hell no. Not in this place somewhere between Houston and Dallas where I don't know where I am, but I have to pee. Not in the place where I'm going to pee. So I turn around and I start walking back towards him, and he's still getting gas. And there's like another little fucking 17-year-old prick sitting there, and little white boy, he has fucking braces. Like, I am so upset and offended. And this kid has fucking braces, and he's smiling at me, and he starts turning it down. But it's the slowest fucking turn down. Like, he's just like, with every step I took.
He's like, fuck you, Karen. I'm going to barely turn this down.
So I took a step. He turned it down like one click. I took another step. He turned it down like one more click. So, and then I just like marched. But he did time it so that when I got there finally and I met his little fucking braces face, like face to face, he'd finally turned it all the way down. But the smirk on this kid, dude. Did I already say James Spader? This little fucker has to be James Spader's like kid. But not like the nice James Spader who's like a real person. I'm talking about like James Spader who's the villain in all of the 80s
character
movies.
actor of every 80s movie of John Hughes where James Spader was the villain.
Yeah. This guy made a fucking baby. And now this kid is in Texas in a gas station playing violent like rape rap. And I'm listening to it. So now he turns it down and he just looks at me and I said, thank you. And I said, because my God, do I need to feel like I'm being sexually assaulted as I walk across the parking lot to use the restroom in a public space? And then I just turned and I walked away. And I knew. I was like, oh, fuck. Rob saw that. I engaged. He saw me get triggered by two boys whose ages don't even, the sum of their ages don't even equal my age. I fucking, oh.
Well, when it happened, I was like, oh, man. So I called the number. I'm like, hey, Karen's International. It happened. Sara has earned her gold badge. Please ship Sara's gold official Karen badge to our house because today she earned it. She's a full-blown golden Karen. But I support what you did. You shouldn't have had to listen to that. You didn't like my reaction to that.
No, don't edit out that long pause. That long pause was
there on purpose.
Purposely. I mean, I know it's audio. You can't see my face, but
what if I just slowly turned?
I hope you felt the long pause.
Mic.
No, we said, like you said, we're not going to bring this up. It's too raw. You're still too upset, and then you fucking brought it up in 1 second of the podcast. I'm like,
I didn't mean to. You have a lot of other cool shit to cover.
I'm like, if you're gonna fucking bring it up, I'm gonna tell the fucking story. And then you know how emotional I feel about this, and then you're just like, yeah, you're a bitch. No, I'm not. They were in the wrong.
I never said you're a bitch.
You didn't say that you called fucking punk ass bullshit white boys international. You said I called Karen international. You know what you should have done? You should have just said, good job, honey. Good job. I wish you hadn't engaged because you just never know, who's out there. We're in Texas. Everybody's got a fucking gun. Like, but it worked out, babe. And I feel your pain.
I was on your team and on your side. I was like, it's not great. Probably not for the best. If this was my son, I would say, son, turn that down. You know what I mean? But I'm just a guy who's like not looking to engage. You know what I mean? I'm not working right now. It's not my job to handle these kinds of problems.
Their parents weren't there, so I had to go be their mother.
Well, that's the thing. That's what you did. You were a school teacher and a mother, and you decided, you know what? Somebody needs to do something about this. And so you decided to do something.
But I didn't do as much as I want. Like, if I was their mother, I would take their car keys. I would take their phones. I would take that $4,000 stereo system out of their fucking car, and I would sell it on eBay.
Ooh.
And I would use that money to spend on myself, and I would tell them, I'm sorry, you guys were irresponsible. Like, you guys fucking
I would have
suck.
split that money, given half to Black Lives Matter and half to a rape shelter.
Well, yes. Also, if I were their mother, I would put them up for adoption because it was fucking broken kids. Broken fucking asshole kids.
All right. They crossed the line with you. You couldn't stop yourself. You finally earned your gold badge.
No, see, stop. You're being a fucking asshole.
Well, that's for
this.
the humor part.
No, okay.
That's funny. People love humor about Karens.
No, that's...
Well, Karens don't like it, but most people do.
Look, heroes, they take risks. Right?
Oh, shit.
So,
Here
let's
we go.
say...
Heroes.
Let's say...
Well, thank you for your service.
Where
was it? Were you in Fallujah?
Let's say there's like a building burning, right? And, someone runs into it blindly and you on the outside, you're like, wait, like be cautious. Like you're only endangering yourself. Like you can't run into that burning building. Like you're just going to hurt yourself and you don't even know if anyone's in there. And you're just like, that's so risky and you shouldn't do that. And in that moment, like, I know, like no one should run into this burning building. But then the hero goes in anyways. And then the hero comes running out holding a puppy. And then everyone claps and they're like, okay, like that was a risk you took, worth it. So no one says to the hero who's carrying the puppy, they don't say like, oh, you fucking earned your Karen badge tonight, buddy.
All right.
You know, hey, tomorrow, once you get the smoke out of your clothes, why don't you go on down to the Supercuts and get yourself a blonde bob, you fucking Karen. Like no one says that. Right? So today,
but you didn't rescue a puppy today.
So today, did I say, okay, I shouldn't have escalated. I should have just walked away. Like I said all this, like I admitted all those things, but then I was like, I didn't. I had an emotional reaction. I understand what the risks were. It's a burning building. It's Texas. These fucking 16-year-old boys, they could have shot me. You know, who knows? It could have escalated. Like I acknowledge the things that could have happened. But what actually happened is those little fuckers turned down that offensive music. And everyone at the gas station was now at peace because who talked to them? I did.
If this was an 80s movie, people would have stood up and clapped as you walked into the bathroom.
Yeah. No.
Like lined up and clapped.
Everybody would have fucking clapped. But then my own goddamn husband, instead of clapping, he's like, hey, Karen, how you fucking doing? I'm just like,
hey, man. I made the call to get you that badge. You earned it. I'm trying to give you credit.
Then there you go.
Karen badge.
That's the Rob Kreider way.
Karen International.
This joke pissed my fucking wife off. She's super mad.
I'll tell it 3 more times.
I'm going to tell it 3 more times. This podcast is going to end. She's not going to speak to me until fucking tomorrow. But I'm going to tell that joke. I'm going to probably try to fit it in one more. I'm going to fit it in tomorrow. Tomorrow, when she's least expecting it, when she's warmed back up to me, she's forgotten that she's mad at me. I'm going to be like, hey, I just got a tracking update on that Karen badge.
It's coming in.
It's coming in.
Your merit badge. They might even move you up to Sterling.
Won't you be so excited when we get home from this vacation and that Karen badge?
There's going to be a coronation and a pinning ceremony. A bunch of blonde women lined up with robes, bowing.
You're a dick. Anyways, though, I didn't text you and say I did some Karen shit. I texted you and I said, look, I did some hero shit. And sometimes heroes face repercussions. Don't leave the car unattended. Let me pee. I'll come back out. You could pee.
I'm like, I just got to take a piss. No, I can't take a piss because you got in a fight with a 17-year-old. Now I got to stand out here and do the pee-pee dance to protect my Porsche.
I hated them.
No, you didn't like them. So that's what happened at the gas station in Texas today.
First, I missed work and I pissed off everybody I know. And then I got on an airplane and I got a dog sitter and my dog is stressed and I'm stressed and we fly halfway across the country. We spend money we don't have. We get a loan, 8% fucking interest.
Outrageous.
We drive. We're in Texas. Like a cicada tries to get me or a cicada or whatever. Like I am like sacrificing so much for you to have this Porsche.
Our luggage fit in it very well. You thought the seats were comfortable. We went 160 miles today. It took us like an hour.
No, that's not true.
We were going 90 miles an hour through Texas today.
Yeah, no. At one point I looked at you and I was like, oh, fuck, you got to slow the fuck down. Like, we've always driven cars that once you go past about 85, they start shaking. They tell you, you're beyond the speed limit.
You are going faster than you should.
You're going too fast. The cars start shaking. They start falling apart. They're like, hey, slow the fuck down. I'm looking for that in a car. This car, it was just like the smoothest ride. And I was looking over at the speedometer because I was like, come on, Grandpa. Like, are we going to fucking get to Dallas or what? And I was like, oh, shit. And at that moment, you were like 88, 89, 90, 89. Like you were kind of going back and forth. And I was like, fuck, you got to slow down. Yeah, a Porsche killed Paul Walker. Like I do not want a Porsche to kill Sarah Kreider.
Also killed James Dean.
And I don't want it to kill me. So I was like, you gotta slow down just like a little bit.
Well, tomorrow we'll open that bad boy up and see what it can really do.
No, that's the opposite.
For gas mileage. For gas mileage.
That's the opposite of what I just said.
I misunderstood.
That is.
I heard you say, hey, Grandpa, let's get to Dallas.
No, but then I already saw that you were driving fast. You were driving like, not like a grandpa, not even like a dad. You were driving like a guy who had nothing to lose. You got a lot to lose.
No, the bank has a lot to lose. Insurance companies have a lot to lose. I'm fine.
When you turn 50, you can take that thing out and you can go 82 miles per hour.
Okay.
But until then, I need you to keep it down at 78.
Okay, I'll do that for you. I love you. I'll keep my life insurance policy and my retirement thing. I want it to all work out for you.
You gotta get to 50.
I gotta make it to 50.
You gotta get to 50.
I'm not quite there yet.
But even after you turn 50, like I don't want you to die. I want you to be cautious. What we're looking for is cautious.
Ask anybody who knows me. That's me. They call me Rob Cautious Kreider.
That's bullshit.
Oh no, that's right. They call me Rob Rightfoot Kreider. I misunderstood what my acronym was. Not acronym. My nickname, Rob Rightfoot Kreider.
Rob Rightfoot Kreider. Did you give yourself that nickname?
No, Eli Cronbach gave me that nickname at the 2012 NASA 25 Hours of Thunder Hill, where I got a podium finish.
Good job.
Oh, and my tattoo did come out at the podium today at the bar. There was a guy who was a Corvette racer who I knew from SCCA, and it didn't take long.
No, you were. So what I texted my brother is I said, I'm drunk on champagne. Rob's drunk on Porsche fumes. Like you were dead sober and you walked into that place. So I had one glass of champagne and then I went to get you to see like, okay, how's it going? Like, are we almost done? Have we bought this fucking car yet or what? Like, what's happening? We got to go to Dallas. And you were like, no, like they need a little more time. They're going to, polish this one more time, blah, blah, blah. So you're like, oh, let me go check out the podium. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. And I said, there's a kid in there, like this like cute little Air Force kid. He just started autocrossing. And I'm like, maybe you can.
And I saw him drive by. He had a C7 vet with a SCCA National Tour sticker.
But I was like, maybe you can be kind to him. You can give him some advice. Like you can mentor him. And you.
That's good. That's nice.
But you walked in. You hadn't even, like, I don't even think you could even, like, see the podium, like, because you had, like, walked in from, like, a bright sunny day, like, inside. So your eyes were still adjusting. Like, you couldn't even see yet. And you're, like, snapping like you do when you get, like, and you're like, I heard there's some fucking autocrossers in here talking shit. And, like, they were like, what? And then you just like started blowing it up and you took your shirt off and I was like, I'm going to need another glass of champagne.
My shirt was off because I have a tattoo that says National Champion on the back of my back with checkered flag. So I wasn't just running around like showing I don't have six-pack abs. or have a hairy back. I had a reason to take my shirt off for a brief moment.
Well, yeah, because you're like, hey, kid, you think you're fucking badass. Look at this tattoo. And he's like, oh my God, where did you get that? And you're like, I got it at the fucking national championship, right? And I'm like, actually, he got it at
Red Buddha Tattoo
in Newport Beach.
I won COTA, and then I got it.
No,
I didn't say where there's some fucking autocross. I was actually more shitty than that. I walked in. I'm like, I heard there's some motherfuckers think they're race car drivers in this bitch, or something like along those lines.
Yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't that much cursing, but it was like
it was pretty bad.
It was like
I'm incapable of.
I heard
of
there's some
doing
motherfuckers that think they're race car drivers in here, or something like that.
It was really bad. It was really bad. And they were just like, I don't understand what happened. Like this woman was in here. She was spinning around in circles. She definitely looked very anxious. She was sweating. She was kind of talking and muttering to herself. It seemed like she was like doing some online banking, stressing. And then she left. And then she came back with this fucking guy who was just talking all of this shit. And then she ordered another glass of champagne.
I was all piped up on Porsche adrenaline, right? I just bought a fucking Cayman.
Yeah. No, that's what I said.
Super stoked.
You were drunk on Porsche fumes.
I'm like, they're polishing my new ride out there.
Yeah, you did.
Actually, his name is Aaron. We're Instagram pals. Good friend. I raced with him in Beeville, Texas last year. So, it's a community, bro.
Yeah, no.
We're all friends here. Just talk shit.
It's a sweet kid.
Yeah. You just don't understand how it works in the racing community, right? We do that kind of bravado shit. Like, it's just like dogs sniff each other's asses kind of thing,
I don't know that you understand how it works because you said that.
I don't have to understand how it works because I'm the goddamn champion.
Yeah, no, everyone else has to said that and everyone looked uncomfortable. No one was like, oh, this is how it works in racing. Like, this must be a racer who just marched in here and said,
this bar is called the podium.
And all the cuss words. Everyone was like kind of like uncomfortable. And then I was like, ha, ha, ha. Like, remember, I was just in here for a few minutes ago. I'll have another glass of champagne.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. And then you did like that bro thing where you're like shaking hands and patting shoulders at the same time and like kind of weirdly hugging. And you're just like really patting on his back, like the loud pat. And you're like, no, I'm just kidding, bro. Like, I'm an autocrosser too. And then you took your shirt off and then everyone was friends and it was okay. But it was awkward for him.
I know how to play it, yo.
You're looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. I've seen you do that handshake back pat like a million times.
I'm trying to be very welcoming to people. Hey, how's it going?
So you know what I'm talking
We're
about.
in the same
though.
circle.
It's like a hard pat too. Here, come here.
It's called bro for a reason.
Lean in, and I'm gonna make the sound. Lean in. It's like, hey, like hey, bro. It's like
It's an
hard.
odd number of pats. You don't go odd number.
You count?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
3 or 5.
3 or 5.
Don't go 2 or 4. Just like when you wear a bracelet. Odd number.
Odd number.
Yeah.
Same thing with tchotchkes. When you put
yeah.
tchotchkes out, odd number.
Yeah, odd for sure. Like a triangle. Very powerful shape. Odd number of points.
You want me to really nerd out here
Yeah, do it.
before I go pee?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna edit all of this out.
No, I want to hear it.
Okay.
Is this going to be the Fibonacci sequence?
No, close though. It's that fucking nerdy.
Let's do it.
Because we're talking about odd numbers and triangles. Okay, so the Pythagoreans, led by Pythagoras,
Yes.
they became like cultish with like where they turned like numeracy and just number sense into like and the study of math into like a cult, right? And they
Sure.
had like all these weird beliefs. And so they were really obsessed with like just whole numbers and pattern numbers. And so they really liked a 1, 2, 3, 4 pyramid. So imagine like a triangle or a pyramid, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But they liked that because if you add 1, 2, 3, 4, it adds up to 10. So you have these like 4 consecutive numbers that can make this triangle or this like pyramid shape, but it adds to 10, which is like this nice like base 10 friendly number. And that became like their symbol. So as like a cult, if you were like traveling around Greece, you would see this flag and it had this like 1, 2, 3, 4, flag on it. And you knew like, oh, this is a space that's like friendly. This is like a space safe for Pythagoreans. And I don't know, like you could go into the pub and you could get like a beer and you could like fucking talk math.
Secret
and
handshake.
nerdy shit. Yeah.
So I'm sorry that you're going to have to help me out though, because I don't understand what a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle is.
Okay, so
you're talking about the shape, the lengths of the
Okay, so-
sides. There's
so-
only 3 sides.
No, so think dots. Like one dot at the top.
Okay.
And then it goes 2 dots.
Okay.
'Cause those 2 dots straddle the one
And
dot.
boom, that's a triangle. We're done.
No, but then you go 3 more dots
Where are those at?
underneath the 2.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 and then 3.
Oh, so you have
then-
essentially you have multiple
then
triangles together. So 4 dots are just a line. They're
Yeah.
making 4 dots.
Yeah, so it's
The bottom of the triangle becomes a 2 dot bottom, a 3 dot bottom, and a 4 dot bottom.
Yeah.
Which are those 2 points are pointless because it's a straight line.
it's not really like points. It's like stacked dots that make this triangle.
Did they put lines up there or just dots?
No, it was just dots.
Oh, it was just you had to figure out you're going to connect these dots to make multiple triangles.
No, you don't connect the dots. You just see the dots together. Do you see it?
I do see it. I just don't understand why you wouldn't connect the dots.
Because it was all about like
It was subversive.
10 dots make this like patterned.
Of multiple
Triangle.
length
Look, dude.
triangles.
They were fucking kooky, right? Like I mean, Pythagoras, it was badass, and he did all of this math, and we still use that math today. But he was fucking crazy as
Totally
shit.
use the Pythagorean theorem to do accident reconstruction for the Highway Patrol.
You know,
for sure.
he didn't eat beans. He didn't believe in eating beans.
Well, people say legumes have too many calories.
Dude, how you not going to eat beans? I mean, how you not going to eat a burrito? You know what goes in a burrito? Beans.
I had Texas chili tonight.
So he didn't.
Beans.
He
But you know what?
didn't-
They say real chili doesn't have beans.
No, there was no beans in our chili tonight. There was an egg in it. Super fucking weird.
It was good.
But there was no beans.
So Pythagorean chili.
It was Pythagorean chili tonight.
That's
Yeah.
what I want from now on. You're like, this is gonna be Pythagorean chili.
Okay, so the one more math story. And here's the thing is you have the power to just knock all this shit out.
No, I want to hear some math stories. This is interesting.
Okay. So the Pythagoreans, they were really, really, really into like whole numbers and just like they liked things to be like concise, simple, easy, like 1, 2, 3, 4 adds up to 10, like this nice pattern and stuff like that, right?
Sure.
So they didn't believe in irrational numbers. So this mathematician comes along and he's one of Pythagorean's followers.
Disciples.
Yeah, he's in the cult, right? He's like, oh, I saw the flag. I came in here for a pint. Like, I'm one of you guys. I don't eat beans. They did other weird shit too. Like, if something fell to the ground, they wouldn't pick it up, which just seems like dirty to me. But whatever.
No, it's actually clean because if it's on the ground and they didn't have soft soap, then and a lot of water.
Okay, but then it just
This is
stays.
grease.
But then it just stays on the ground.
No, because you don't want to touch it. Just leave it down there.
It's just a mess in
dirty.
there. Anyways, so he's one of them, right? And his name was like something Greek, and I never can remember what his name is, but it's something like an H, like hypotenuse, but that's not it. Like hippopotamus. So I just call him hippopotamus. So, anyways, hippopotamus. He's like, hey, you guys, I think there's these numbers that you can't express as a fraction, and the Pythagoreans were like, no, every number you can express as a fraction, like every single number, like you can just make it into a fraction.
He's like, what about pi?
And hippopotamus was like, no, like I think there's like numbers that are just like, they just are decimals that go on and on and on. And the Pythagoreans were like, oh, no, like that's so fucked up. Like that doesn't fit into like our view of the world, right? Like you talk about Sara town. This was like Pythagorean town, right? Or Pythagoras town.
Yeah.
So they're just like, no, dude. And he's like, no, look, he's like, Pythagoras, come here. He's like, I'm going to use your own fucking triangle theorem to show you. He's like, a leg is a 1 and a leg is a 1. Hypotenuse is the square root of 2. It's an irrational number. Proof, right? So then...
Let me guess, they hung him?
No, better. They were like, hey, hippopotamus, like, you're right. There are these weird numbers. They're like, you're our friend, dude. Do you want to go out for like a sunset cruise on our boat? And he's like, yeah, like we're all friends here. Let's go on a sunset cruise on your boat. So all the Pythagoreans and hippopotamus, they all got on the boat. They all got their cocktails. And hippopotamus was like, cheers to the square root of 2. Cocktail cruise. And then something tragic happened at sea. And all the Pythagoreans came back. Except hippopotamus did not. And they were like, they were just like this. And there are no irrational numbers. There is no square root of 2. Hippopotamus was a fucking dick. We lost him at sea.
He sleeps with the fishes.
He sleeps with the fishes. Like, that'll fucking show you. But then, some years later, they were like, fuck, we can't just keep killing these guys. We got to admit.
Turns out irrational numbers do exist.
Yeah.
Some things are not going to be a fraction.
Yeah. So they were just like, my bad.
That's why you had to buy me the TI-83, because I was like, oh, these things aren't all going to be 2/3. I got to put numbers in there.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes there's irrational numbers. Let's raise a glass.
Let's raise 2 aluminum cans.
All right. Here we go.
To Pythagoras and Porsches.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the hosts their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only 4 Spanish dollars. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.